Yeah, Grenada, Carrick, Kopiniman, again, the rest of the world. We'd like to welcome you to another Mikey Live program. My name is Mikey Hutchinson, people, and this is where it all happens. We are talking about the good, the bad, and the Mikey. Now, you're hearing things about Grenada, the Caribbean, the world, if you have to, folks. This is what we call news discussed, not told, so we prefer have a discussion here. Alright, and that's what it's all about. We want to encourage you at this point to share the program. You see, in sharing the program, other people gets to see that we are live, other people gets to know what's going on here, and so that's what it's about. Alright, we sharing, you sharing, and the world is a better place for everyone else. Alright, so folks, let's tell you what's making the headlines, boy. Multiple men on fire and drug charge, on firearm and drug charges. We're going to tell you about that. Man finds roach after eating fries and chicken. Prison officer arrested and charged. We'll tell you about that, as well as workers back on the job after intense protest action. Grenada records its first kidnapping charge in recent history. And Marshall Montano, now Dr. Marshall Montano. That and more we are going to tell you about when we come back with the news. We want to remind you that the headlines was brought to you through the kind compliments of Duty Free Caribbean and the Colombian Emeralds International. We want to encourage you to share the program. Sharing the program is key, people. Go ahead and share the business. Alright, we will be right back. When we come back, it's real news in Olilililolo.
And so it begins, a journey like no other. Jungles so lush, they make emeralds jealous. Water that sparkles like diamonds. Mountains with more facets than precious gems. This is where good times are had, where love is strengthened, where memories are formed. And when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will never fade. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
The Ministry of Youth Development, Sports, Culture and the Arts present Youth Week 2018, empowering our youth, shaping our community, protecting our future. The week of activities kicks off on Friday, November 9th with the Minister's Address from 8 p.m. Saturday, 10th November, Health Fair, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Cuthbert Peters Park War, and the Fitness Revolution, 3 p.m. Concord Junction. Sunday, 11th November, it's the Peace Concert, Grenville Brush Terminal. On Tuesday, 13th November, ministers meet with the youth at Her Majesty's Prison. Thursday, 15th November from 5 p.m. It's the Imani Graduation, Youth Awards and Gala. And on Friday, 16th through the weekend, it's the National Youth Service Weekend. Every parish get involved. And on Saturday, 17th November, it's Youth Expo, Explosion Fashion and Cultural Day. 2 p.m. until at Hero Square, Victoria in St. Mark. So remember, Youth Week 2018, November 9th to the 17th.
business since November. Quartz Black Friday preview sale continues with crazy doorbuster deals. Save big on new products every single day. Why wait? Get what you need today during Quartz Black Friday preview sale. Limited stock available. Offer valid from November 12th through 16th. Quartz Black Friday preview sale. Crazy doorbuster deals every single day. See in-store for details. Don't miss it. Quartz, bringing value home.
The National Cultural Awards and Dinner, Saturday, November 24th.
Radisson Ballroom at 7 p.m. It's a red carpet event honoring our cultural icons.
An expression of appreciation for their contributions.
Join with us and celebrate their great works. Limited tickets available for $150 at the Grenada Cultural Foundation. Call us on 435-2839.
Dress formal and share in the experience. Feature speaker, the legendary Paul Keynes Douglas. The National Cultural Awards and Dinner, a Grenada Cultural Foundation initiative supported by the National Lotteries Authority and the Grenada Tourism Authority.
Oh yeah, thank you very much for that. And we are now ready for the news. How are you doing? So we want to welcome all the people, boy, who are usually onto Mikey Live. It is always our pleasure to host the program. All right. We also want to say hello to the folks on WPG10. Thank you for viewing tonight's program. Now, the first thing that we need to tell all you about is that workers are now back on the job as days of contemplation and calculation ends. Of course, today was a day when all the students were back in school, the teachers were back in school, public workers were back on the job, and everything seemed normal, only that you had many of the teachers wearing their union t-shirts as indicated in yesterday's interaction with the president of the Grenada Union of Teachers, that's Lydon Lewis. He indicated that that was going to be their mode for today, and so it was. Many teachers had on their union t-shirts. Now, on Friday, we are expecting an announcement by the teachers union, because that's when they say that, of course, after they met and have discussions and make agreements and so on, then they will tell us where we go from here. And so we expect some announcement tomorrow, God's willing. But the latest information that we had, the government is trying to file an injunction in the court to prevent healthcare workers from joining in the protest. Also, one media house reported that the teachers are also attempting to, or contemplating rather, filing an injunction just the same to prevent government from interfering with their payments. Of course, the government had announced that for the days not worked, these workers will not receive any payment. And the union said if government goes ahead and start deducting from salaries of the persons who protested by way of staying home, then there will be taking a lot of actions, including no sports, no junior achievers, no young leaders, no correcting of SBAs, and the list goes on and on and on. Let's see what happens there. Now, the next thing that we need to tell you about is the Follow Grenada digital campaign. Grenada Tourism Authority is once again letting people know that you can now participate in this campaign. The Follow Grenada campaign is a digital campaign inviting locals, St. George's University students, and people in the diaspora to share with the world their experience of Pure Grenada and become ambassadors for the Pure Grenada brand local advocacy campaign. Now, participants are invited to post photos of their adventures in Grenada, Carriacou, and the Petite Martinique on followgrenada.com. Now, it runs from November to December, and to enter, persons must visit followgrenada.com, follow the instructions to enter, share your entries on social media using hashtag #FollowGrenada to encourage people to vote for your Pure Grenada story on followgrenada.com. You must also understand that only the votes and points on followgrenada.com will count. Now, the winners, there'll be 3 winners. Most votes will go to that person, will be the winner, and most votes runner-up, and then the best photo to be determined by a panel of professional photographers. All right, and they'll be having some very interesting prizes. For example, the most votes, all expense paid 2-night stay for a couple at the True Blue Bay Resort, and most votes runner-up, dinner for 2, all right, at Rhodes Restaurant, Calabash Luxury Boutique Hotel, and the best photo, 1,000 EC dollars. All right, interesting. Now, folks, the next story that we have to tell you about, boy, 2 police operations at the weekend have resulted in 5 men appearing at the Grenville Magistrates Court on Wednesday, 14th November. All right, that was yesterday, on firearm and drug charges. Charges of possession of an illegal firearm and ammunition were laid against Kimon Mark Phillip, 30 years, steel bender of Tempe in St. George, Christopher Smith, 45 years old, machine operator of Mondelez, and that's in St. George, and Siobhan Jeremiah, 38 years old, fisherman of Cobo Town, St. Paul's, after police intercepted the vehicle they were traveling in on Sunday, 11th November 2018 at Mount City, St. Andrew. Now, a Ruger 9mm pistol and a magazine with 12 rounds of ammunition were seized. And I believe we have a picture of the gun somewhere on our machine here. Yes, here it is. You know, we obtained that from the police. Some serious vibes you're talking about there, you know. Now, also on Sunday, 11th November 2018, 2 men, Cliffy Tyrone Joseph, 31 years old, machine operator of a Telescope St. Andrew, and Don Noel, 32 years old, mason of Mount Pleasant, Carrier Coup, were detained in connection with the discovery of 34 pounds of cannabis at Telescope St. Andrew. Now, Cliffy and Don were subsequently charged with possession of a controlled drug. Police investigation resulted in Kimon, Christopher, and Siobhan being linked to the discovery of the cannabis. All 3, along with Cliffy and Don, were charged with conspiracy to trafficking in a controlled drug. Now, additional charges of driving without a driver's license and trafficking in of a controlled drug were laid against Cliffy. All 5 men were granted bail in the sum of $50,000 with 2 sureties. They are to surrender all travel documents and report once a week to the police station nearest to their residence. They will be returning to court on December 3rd, 2018. All right, and here are the men. That's Siobhan Jeremiah. This is Christopher Smith, Cliffy Joseph, Don Noel, Kimon Mark, and the cannabis in question is now on your screen, and police say that their investigations are continuing into this. All right, we're moving on. I tried my best to figure out a way to cover the next story, but it's hard. Just before coming in on the program, I had a discussion with a young man, a security officer. Said that he feels upset. Why? After eating, he says, after consuming some chicken and fries, he found 2 dead roaches in his container. He says this has made him really upset his stomach, upset, he says, just knowing that, you know, he would have had that food so fast, not paying attention, he says, to what was happening at the bottom of the container, only to find 2 dead roaches. He said that he purchased this from a mobile unit of a very popular restaurant in Grand Dance, he says. And so he's really not happy about it. I guess as much it is important when buying fast food, particularly when out on the street, you may want to, just for your own good, check to see that, just to make sure that there are no foreign bodies or anything that is not supposed to be in those containers there, because yes, these things do carry germs, and again, just the thought of having to have just thinking about it